Do you wonder sometimes what the $100 million secret to success is? In this video, I'm gonna break down Dwayne Johnson, The Rock's 4 simple steps to get anything that you want in life. Now, before we get into this, honestly, I've never been the biggest fan of The Rock. It seems like maybe he's a BSer. My guess is he's probably on steroids too, which no problem, but I kind of think you should admit it when you do 3 a.m. workouts. But I actually put my prejudice aside and I started listening to him in the gym, motivational clips. His story's insane, and I throw out all my previous criticisms, and I have amazing respect for his story. And I want to break down his secrets to success so you can use them too. Now, this first big idea for you is that when all goes to hell, your dreams fall apart, something better is actually on the other side. Now, let's play a clip from The Rock explaining how he lost his entire lifelong dreams. He was totally crushed, and about a decade later, he ended up starting to make it in Hollywood.
I played for University of Miami, played for great teams. Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis, they were my teammates. They were balling. Warren Sapp was playing tight end that time. I was starting defensive tackle. Yeah, they moved him over to D-line. And he looked at me, he's like, yo, dude, I'm gonna take your spot. I said, you ain't taking my spot. He said, I'm gonna take your spot. I said, no, you ain't. We battled, and he took my spot. Now, you can imagine how that f***ed with me, because there goes my opportunity. He went in, switched to defensive tackle, lit the world on fire. Well, what that did, it crushed me, it crushed my dreams. I had a piss poor senior year, 0 production, no NFL, no combine invite, nothing. Finally went to the CFL, Calgary Stampeders, making $250 a week Canadian.
Now, the reason that I like that is because you hear about success stories, right? You hear about people going through a little bit of issues and then they make their dreams become a reality. But you don't hear about people like The Rock. His whole life, he dreamed of making it to the NFL. He played for University of Miami. You're basically guaranteed to be pro if you're starting at University of Miami. But then he loses his starting job, his dreams are crushed, his whole life is ruined, and he doesn't know what to do. And I think that that proves that even if your dreams were taken away from you, you don't have to try to chase them and hold on to them out of fear, because there may be a back door. He didn't know when he lost his starting job that then he'd try to save his career and he goes to the Canadian Football League and he's making $200 a week. No chance for him to make it to the NFL. And he finally just stops and goes in a whole new path. And you might have some amazing things coming your way that right now they look like all hell. And that leads us to big idea number 2, to trust your gut. When you trust your gut, amazing things happen. And let's hear it from The Rock explaining what happened.
My back is up against this motherfucker. Every day, it's against this fucking wall. But it's up against this motherfucker because it's what I believe in. And when my back is against this motherfucker, then there's nowhere to go. But that way. That's it. Doesn't mean you don't smile. Doesn't mean you don't laugh and joke, right? You're happy. I'm a happy guy. But when it comes to business and when it comes to executing, it's up against this. And I got to go that way. And I don't give a fuck who is in front of me. They're not going to stop me.
Now, I love that one because it cements the fact that sometimes your original dreams are totally gone, and then sometimes you got to trust your gut to walk away and make a different trail, make a different path. And The Rock had this crazy feeling that he was going to become one of the most successful wrestlers in the world and fame and fortune. And his dad's like, what are you doing? You're ruining your life. And then eventually he does become one of the most successful wrestlers in the world. And then again, he gets a crazy gut feeling that tells him he needs to quit at the top of his game when he can see fame and fortune just on the horizon. He goes, I'm out. I'm gonna make it in Hollywood. And then he ends up sucking in Hollywood and thinking he made the worst decision of his life. And then just on the other side of that, he becomes now one of the highest grossing actors in the history of the world. And you may have big dreams. You may have specific goals, things that you want. How do you do it? The Rock says the number one key to him making his dreams a reality is having an anchor. Let's have him explain in this clip how you can use an anchor.
The key with me is just always finding what the anchor is. And an anchor is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day before anybody else and grounding my thought process is in the no one will outwork me. No one. All starts with this. 2 hands, putting it to work.
And that summarizes big idea number 3 is what's your anchor? And I don't want to pretend to be some like macho guy lifting 1,000,000 pounds and all that stuff. But when I found an anchor, my life changed. I had just become a father of 2 young girls, and I was in this place of my life where I was totally overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with business, with work, with my goals, with trying to be a dad and a husband at the same time. I didn't know what to do, and I had just had the worst 18 months or so of my life, like health-wise, productivity-wise, business-wise, money-wise. And I decided that I was gonna start waking up at about 4 a.m. every single day, and I was gonna wake up and get to work. And by the time it was 8, 9 a.m., I already have an entire work day pretty much done. Then I could hit the gym, get back, get some more work done. I'm done by early afternoon. I got the whole rest of the day to be a dad and a father. Well, the crazy thing happened. I ended up getting in the best shape of my life and making the most money that I ever made in the last 12 to 18 months or so. Having an anchor can change your entire life. So, as The Rock said, find your anchor. And this leads us into big idea number 4. Get your back against the wall, mentally speaking. And let's hear from The Rock how he uses this to create his reality.
After about a month and a half of staying in that little apartment and cleaning, I got a phone call from the head coach of the team who cut me, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. He called me and he said, "Hey, I know we cut you, but I'd like you to come back." I said, "Okay, I appreciate that, coach. Thank you very much. I'll think about it." He said, "Okay, great." I hung up the phone, and my dad said, "You're gonna do it, right?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I think I'm done with that." And he goes, "What?" I said, "My gut tells me I'm done." He said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'd like to get into the business." He said, "What business?" I said, "The wrestling business." He said, "You are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make." He said, "You're ruining your career." I said, "Maybe I'll be no good. But I feel like in my heart I have to do this."
Now, the reason that I love this is because a lot of times you don't really think about why you're doing what you're doing. And when you do, you get bored and you get uninspired. So whether it's mentally imagining your back against the wall, doing it for your children, for your parents, for your community, to get out of debt, because you don't like your landlord very much and you want to be able to get your dream house instead, find something where you can mentally put your back against the wall so that you can move with urgency and productivity to tap into those areas of your mind that you don't really know exist. And when you do, The Rock showed us. He goes from losing his starting job at the University of Miami, playing arena football league in Canada for $200 a week, quitting, becoming a wrestler before having $7 in his pocket, to becoming literally one of the highest grossing actors in the history of the world. And the secret's pretty straightforward. And it's up to you to decide. Now, I love this clip because if you don't really think about why you're doing what you're doing, you get bored, you get uninspired, you're unmotivated. You need to find something, whether it's mentally imagining your back against the wall for your children, getting out of debt, your parents, maybe it's that you don't want to go back to your old life and the way things work. You have to mentally put yourself and your back against the wall so that literally nothing in this world will dissuade you. And one of the secrets for me was using a success hypnosis. I have a free success hypnosis MP3. It's pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. It's my free success hypnosis to start to train your mind. To train your mind so it's like The Rock. When he loses the starting job, his whole life's ruined, he's totally crushed, and then he goes to Canadian Football League making $200 a week, and then they cut him. He decides he's gonna become a big wrestler, and then eventually he's gonna become a big Hollywood actor. Everyone thought he was crazy. There was no logical explanation why this was gonna work out, but he had that Rock mindset. And you can develop that by retraining your subconscious mind. My free success hypnosis right there down below. It's jakeshypnosis.com. Now, if you enjoy this video, then let me know in the comments right there down below. I love this video. Smash the like button on it. And I think you might enjoy my secrets to success from Joe Rogan. You can click right here to check out his secrets.